Hello everyone, today I'm working on this Walthers or lifelike GP38-2 and it's really neat. It even says Walthers on the bottom, so that's kind of cool. So it's missing couplers, it's missing handrails in the front. Quite a few handrails are missing, but I think it's worth fixing, so we will be working on that today. Oh, also missing the horn. Still worth fixing, so we'll be working on that today. I used the box method to get them out, but I noticed the ladders are messed up on this side, so I can't use that on this side. I've got to use my trusty screwdriver to try and get in there and open this up. Can't say it was super easy, but I did manage to get it off. And I noticed they have a circuit board very similar to the Atlas circuit board. So I'm wondering, what are the odds that I could use a DCC circuit board from an Atlas? So we'll be finding that out today. On a side note, I'm getting ready to sell this SD40. So that's been a really good engine for years. It's time to make room for some new stuff. So let's have a little bit of fun with this. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put this up on my website. It's watchtrainsnow.com. And what we'll do something that I call a reverse auction. So I will list this on Friday. I will list this for $100, and then every day I'm going to take $5 off the price. So for example, Friday it's 100, Saturday it's 95, and Sunday it's going to be 90. So if you feel like paying $50 for this, you only need to wait 10 days. If you think it's worth 90, you only have to wait 2 days. If you want to wait 19 days, it's going to be down to $5. So whoever thinks it's worth the most will have a chance to buy this. So I'll start it at 100 and I'll lower the price $5 every day. Let's take a little bit of a look at this. It's the old chassis, which is not so DCC friendly. But these are really smooth runners, really quiet. In fact, I'm going to run it for you for a second. So yeah, very smooth runners. And it's everything's complete. It's got the 2 lights. Take a look at the shell for you. It's got a micro train conversion. So that's really neat. And it's got the horn. All the handrails are there and present. So this thing is like a brand new engine. Cab number 3066. So I'll be putting it up on Friday. Actually, as I upload this video, it should be on there already. Alright, so let's test this out. Let's just have a baseline. So looks like it's got a lot of chips on it, this circuit board, but it is DC. And of course, I've got to clean everything out. But these split frame lifelikes, they're really good runners. Maybe sometimes they're a little noisy, but this one seems to be quiet. So perfect. I am going to clean and lubricate this though. I'm going to be careful of the order that these fit in. So we're going to take this apart. I want to know if by any chance the Atlas boards will fit in there. I would be really curious to know that. If they did, that would be great. Because it wasn't really cheap, but I really wanted it, so I got it. You know what I mean? So that should allow me to remove the trucks. I just put my screwdriver in the frame and spread it out a little bit. That just came right out. So I am keeping the order at which they come out. And then I can go ahead and really spread this out. It's super easy. Just get this light shield out. That's probably holding the whole thing together. And that really looks like a Atlas chassis. But there are no provisions to isolate the motor. So that's going to be an issue. So if I want to convert this to DCC, I have to put some type of wires on it. It's running from the frame directly, which is good. It's just not DCC friendly. So I have to make a decision here whether I want to do the extra work or not. A little bit of metal that collected at the bottom there. So any junk you have on your tracks, the magnet's gonna attract that. Doesn't keep it from running though, so I guess no problem is no problem. So here's my Atlas DCC board for comparison. The contact plates are the completely different spot. So I'm not saying it can't be done, but for sure it won't be easy. And to be honest, I don't really feel like doing all the work for that. I think I'll just be happy running it with DC. And I have to rewire everything for the motor. So I think this way is the front. So yeah, I think it's just a little bit too hard, considering I do have a bunch of Atlas engines that I can run with DCC. So it was worth a try, but it's just a little bit too hard to do. So for me, it's not worth it. So I'll be happy running this DC. So I can continue cleaning this, although everything looks to be in good shape. The drive system, everything looks ship shape. So I'm going to be spending most of my time on the power trucks. So we'll just split this little guy up. I really like that they left the side frame in gray plastic. Adds a little bit of detail. On the XL&N family lines system, they were probably painted gray like that. Although they get grimy pretty fast, and you probably would not be able to see it after a couple of weeks. Oh boy, I better be more careful. This will probably still run fine, just doesn't look right. That's kind of sad. So I guess with the time the plastic became brittle. So I'll just crazy glue it back together. Stuff like that happens to the best of us. And it's again, it's a copy. Oh, there's a little bit of dirt in here. Again, it's a copy of Atlas system or Kato. It doesn't look overly dirty. It's not bad, but I'm still gonna take a minute to clean it up well. I like to clean the wheels with my rags. That is the best stuff. And then I'll clean it with my toothbrush and some dish soap. But that makes it squeaky clean. And also, while you have it in your hand, you can check the gauge. You can use your trusty Microtrains height gauge, which I will need to use because I have to replace the couplers on this. But you can also use a piece of track if you don't have the Microtrains height gauge. Use a piece of track like that. I like them to be loose like this, but you can see the gauge is correct, so no need to change that. And then I'll wash the gearbox with some dish soap. I will also wash the shell I do it early in the process because I'm going to replace a bunch of handrails. There's going to be painting involved. I super like the way they painted the number boards on these. You know what? I'm going to go take a look at the real engine, see if I can find a picture online, and then I'll see if the number boards were white like this. Yep, took about a second to find a picture of it, and the number boards were white. Also, the L&N unit had the bell here in the back. They have it down here by the frame, which is still good detail. I kind of like these. Perfect. So I'm getting ready to put everything back together. Check the gauge, everything's good. And then just line up your contact strips, put the axles in their little bearing caps. Now that had quite a bit of lubrication. These contact strips, I just run my finger through them, and then that's good enough. There's a little bit of lubrication left over. I'm not sure if it's factory lubrication or if it's something else. I'm finding something binding in the gears a little bit. When I have a look under magnification, it might be a piece of scenery foam or ballast that's stuck in there. So I have to go through every tooth to find out what the problem is, but I will. So I did find some stuff stuck in the gears. I go in there with my my clothes pin, and I will dig everything out till it runs good. So it's running good now. So I'll put the side frames back on. It's nice to have your workbench set up like that. I have my sewing pins close by. I have everything I need. Although that does take up room in your house. So these are choices you have to make. But for me, it's worth it. And I'll just snap into place, check it again. And then if you're happy, you can move on. I'm going to work on the back truck next. So I'll wash the shell, I'll wash the fuel tank, and I'll do the exact same process on the back truck off camera. Since I have everything open, I'm going to do some lubrication on the worm gears. So just a drop of oil, that's all you need. And this locomotive uses the little donuts here. That is your engine cradle. So make sure they're exactly in the right place when you close up the second half of the frame. I'm getting ready to put everything back together. So yeah, the circuit board goes in first. Goes in like that. Actually, funny enough, I think it can go in last even. Well, that's really neat. And then bring the second half of the frame. It's got its insulators still on the second half, so I can just bring those in. And that should line it up really well. Yeah, but I think the little circuit board can go in and out after. Look at that, but not compatible with the Atlas. I'm just gonna start my screws, and then I can come in with the two trucks. Just start them. Everything seems to fit really well together, so that's good news. Yeah, Easter's coming up upon us, so I think I will title this GP38 Reserrection. to give it a little bit of a Easter theme. And then that's the back. Take a minute to make sure that all your contact strips are lined up properly. That looks really good. Then we'll do the front one. So I've got the same order that they were in. That should go in. Always use gravity as your friend. Now I can see this pin is not quite aligned properly. So I want to make sure to get that perfect. And then I'll come in and I will tighten up my screws. Once I get everything lined up properly. I still got a lot of work to do on the shell, but I want to start by getting the frame running. Has to run perfectly before I move on to something else. So obviously this side wasn't too tight. There, that feels much better. So the fuel tank will hold your contact strips properly. Just make sure you got them lined up perfectly before you put in your fuel tank. Everything looks good. I am happy with that. And then the fuel tank, the little filler nozzles, they will go towards the front. And you know, there's no extension here in the front because they put room for the little bell. Actually, that looks really good. Pretty happy with that. Here we go. Yes, there's room for the little bell here. So let's go try that on the track just to make sure. Let's just give it some power. Runs nice and quiet. Wow, that is really something. And that motivates me to do a good job on the shell. This engine is going to be something else. I like it. There's still a lot of work to be done. I usually repair handrails. I'll pull the filaments off of this type of tie wrap. There's a very small filament, very small metal strand in here. So I'll just cut some of the insulation off and I'll pull it off. And that's a very malleable and small filament. So I usually like to use these to repair handrails. Plus, it's free. So it's good to have a good picture of the engine or a really nice, a really good GP38 to compare. But what I do, I will usually start with just straighten everything out. That takes a little while, but I'll just straighten it out. And then when I'm happy with that it's straight, I'll make just the one bend. And then I will stick it in the hole. And I'll just keep bending it till I get it exactly to where I want it to go. I have the other shell to use as a guide. I'll just keep bending it to shape until it's done. Then one final bend, and that will become my stanchion. So this one, I make the stanchion just a little bit longer. And then I will glue this together. I will give it plenty of time to dry, and then I'll come in with my snips and I'll just cut the top of it here, and then I'll remove everything, paint it, and then reinstall it. Same thing from the front. You just keep bending it till it makes the contour of your handrail. So I'm going to keep bending it till I'm happy with the result. Already it looks much better, and then one bend, that will become your stanchion. I'll just glue that together with some crazy glue. Because I want to preserve the very nice safety stripes here, I'm going to remove it to paint it. I'll paint it off camera. Same with the side handrails. This is the paint that I found should be pretty close. At this point, all the hard work is done. I just have to come in. I use my nail clippers. I use the nail clippers, and there's still some touch-ups needed. This is okay. So I'll use my nail clippers and I'll come in and remove the extra. And after that, I'll do the touch-ups. Touch-ups are done. How do you like that? That looks great. I will need to do couplers now. This was stuck in one of the coupler spaces. This was stuck in there. I'm going to reuse the screw from that. And this little coupler box, I don't throw them out. Even though the couplers are completely torn off, I don't throw the box out. If you have Bachmann Easy Made couplers, they fit in there. Or I think these were Accumate couplers. Anyways, I will keep it for parts for later, and then I've got my good micro trains that will fit right in here. Easy breezy, Japanesey. And then I'm reusing the original screw. So that will be that. Just wanted to let you take a look at how good that pilot beam looks with the safety stripes. Now I can put the shell back on. And now it's time to run some trains. Well, I hope you enjoyed the video. I certainly had fun making it for you. See you soon.